The second hour of the Daily Brief begins right now. Let's conclude on the topic that we began during our first hour. Let me come to you directly, Kenneth. Final words, way forward after listening to what Mbogwa has had to say. Where does that leave you?
That one actually takes me back to wherever the point we were discussing earlier. Because somehow it's like he's on the same page with us. Only that he has embraced something without really striking the points of putting the proper infrastructure first, then allowing the BRT buses to come. He's actually saying, let us bring the buses first, then we'll address the issue of infrastructure later. And that is already confusion. That is something that we are totally disagreeing with, because we want the infrastructure to be put in place. The 64 buses that he has talked about, the Waziri talked about, all of those 64 buses are going to ply Thika Road, because that's the only place I've seen them actually doing the red lines and putting infrastructure. All the 64 are going to go to Thika Road, or others are going to go to Jogo Road, Mombasa Road, and all that. There is no infrastructure. The reason why they are pushing this thing with a lot of vigor, na nguvu kabisa ifanyike haraka the way you want it, is because there is something, kuna kitu fiche, something that is just behind the curtain.
Let me first say, I want to thank Chairman Mbogwa. He's been my chairman when I used to operate matatus. And I know the gentleman was elected because I was among the people who elected him. Despite having so many challenges, because now we have so many associations, as he said, we should also recognize the other leaders. You know, the problem with the matatu sector is that we have leaders today. He comes, he says, I'm the leader, I was elected. But the fact is that we must respect everybody, we must respect leaders. But my very simple question to my former chairman is, why, because he's in that, that body whereby they are discussing with the CS, why are they pushing so much on these BRT buses to be brought, and we have not yet done the infrastructure? Why don't we start with the first thing first? As he has said, they have said they are bringing, as a pilot project, they are bringing 64 buses from South Africa. I don't understand how these 64 buses will be operating on Thika Road. Only, are they bringing these buses just to operate on Thika Road because that is where there is only one lane? Okay. So what I want, just very clear, yes. Please, Mr. Chairman, it is important when you're having the meeting with the CS, make sure that you involve all the stakeholders.
Kushian.
I would like to say that what we are dealing with here, especially when dealing with the CS Macharia, we are dealing with the horrors of unskilled labor. Horrors of unskilled labor. By that I mean he's talking to the wrong people. How watu wanaongea nao atuelewi namna gani. And the one thing, you cannot force people to walk. By the time you are telling people you want a car-free day, you should be telling us you have waterways, you have rails already in place for people that don't want to walk. And on the other side, on solutions, we've been giving solutions. As the chairman of the Matatu and Bodaboda Operators Federation, we've been saying, if the problem is the congestion, and we already know that out of every 2 matatus, we have 60 private vehicles. And these are the vehicles that we need to get out of the road. Why don't we charge 1,000 shillings for every luxury vehicle? A private vehicle is a luxury vehicle. If you want to use it, be charged 1,000 shillings. And you will see 70% of these vehicles will be left at home. Right now we have 10,000 vehicles that access the CBD every day and pay 3 million shillings to the county. If we charge 1,000 shillings and only 3,000 private vehicles come to the CBD, that would be the county government is still getting the 3 million it gets, yet there's no congestion. Yeah, so we don't need to waste billions of money going to South Africa or elsewhere, buying vehicles that when the local capacity can do the job. We don't have to do something just because it's been done elsewhere. As for the BRT, I would like to tell His Excellency, Uhuru Muigai wa Kenyatta, we support you 1,000,000% if that exists. All we are saying, please, this is a process, do like other countries. Let's start by building the railway lines before buying the trains. Please. That's all. And the bikes. Are we trying to take this country back to the Stone Age? Huh? We come from, we now have motorbikes.
Yeah.
And now we are telling people not to use motorbikes, to use bikes. Do we have the bike lanes? Or we want to kill Kenyans huku kwa barabara?
Gentlemen,
and the hawkers.
thank you.
I still need to, one more
The
point.
CBD free
The last
Kushian,
point.
we're done with time.
The last point.
We're really done with
The
time.
last one.
30 seconds. 30
On
seconds.
the last point.
30 seconds.
The business community is always complaining of hawkers going to their doors. Governor Sonko has done everything to create spaces for them. Why are we then saying that we displace others so that we can please the hawkers? Please, Macharia, you have your priorities upside down.
Anyone,
and, please.
Anyone may think Macharia is standing right here.